The recent upsurge in violence continues. An MC clip photo shoot in the Los Santos River turned nasty after 3 gangbangers disrupted proceedings and shot the place up. Police are searching for 3 gang members on speedophile.
Gang crime is on the rise, and politicians are blaming lack of media coverage and sensationalism. The recent fall in the popularity of gang movies, focusing on both African American and Hispanic street gangs.
The driver, Marcus Williams, took off. The pursuit started in Sandy Shores and went all the way up through Paleto Bay. They ditched the post-op truck in the lumber mill, where the police began a foot pursuit. The suspects were able to get away, and warrants have been issued for Marcus Williams and Danny Adams for felony evading.
The war in Los Santos, it's been a crazy year for the police and the gangs in the city, with 75% of murders going unsolved. Recreation of the people murdered getting referenced in songs, and even going as far as RICO charges being established. The FBI stepped in to act quickly as they seen things started to get bad. And even with it getting out of hand, the FBI, or the Federal Bureau of Investigation, put in their all to try and stop the Shotta gang and the Glockboyz beef, which started as one big group. Sets like the North Holland Hustlers from Liberty City coming all the way to Los Santos ended in a massive breakup, with them all going renegade and starting their own crews like the Shotta Boys and the Flock gang. There is also other crews involved, like the 2 main ones that have been on police radar for almost 2 years now, known as the Shotta gang and the Glockboyz. A group of teenagers turned gang criminals, with different crews and sets around LS. It's bound for beef to start. The Shotta gang and the Glockboyz didn't start off straight beefing, but they were actually cool at first. That was until one of the Shotta gang stash houses got robbed, and the only people that knew where it was were the Glockboyz. So 3 Shotta gang members decided to confront a couple of Glockboy members about the robbery, which things escalated quickly, with the Glockboyz admitting to breaking in the stash and shots being fired and people rushing for cover as a shootout began. Although nobody was hit or killed in the shootout, that wasn't the start of the war. That was only just a spark to the flame. Things really got out of hand when a 16-year-old kid named Marshawn Gregory, also known as Mr., was coming out of the store when he was gunned down. Mr. was with 2 other boys at the time when shots rang out. Mr. was hit, and the other 2 boys dropped their things, and the case is still unsolved to this day, and the number 1 person that the police has labeled as the shooter was a Shotta gang member named Giovanni Green, also known as G. He was brought in custody, but due to lack of evidence he was the shooter was later released back on the streets. With G being released and labeled the shooter, all hell broke loose between the Shotta gang and the Glockboyz. The Glockboyz later changed their name to Mr. World and started calling themselves GBMW, aka Glockboyz Mr. World, with them also going around spray painting Mr. World on the walls of Los Santos. But a tragedy would later come when G's best friend and right-hand man named Mello would be killed by a member of the Glockboyz named King, with them filming the shooting on their phone, which was later found by the police, and King being charged with the murder. The police say it was retaliation for the murder of Mr. Since they couldn't get G, they had to get someone around him. After this kid Mello died, the Shotta gang chose to go to the place where they spray painted Mr. name and spray paint Mello's name on it in honor of him. The Glockboyz were mad, and a couple of members got in their cars and intended on sliding on the Shotta gang, but the cops already knew it was gonna be instant get back for the disrespect and ended up getting on their trail to prevent them from shooting or killing any Shotta gang member. This led to a high-speed chase where they were eventually stopped and several guns were found, but nothing too serious because they were all later released on $10,000 bonds. Now if you know anything about the Kid G from Shotta gang, you would know that his father was one of the founding members, Playboy X's right-hand man, and was a part of the North Holland Hustlers back in Liberty City. So G had seen it all from a young age. He grew up in the Firefly Apartments in Broker, then moved to Algonquin when his mother died. His father didn't want him joining the gang at all, but G had already made up his mind. When G started getting into trouble, he went to go stay with his grandmother out in Los Santos at age 12. When he found out his dad was killed, he started getting into more trouble in school and out. Him and a group of friends that he knew from Liberty City made up their own clique called the Foreign Drive Hustlers, often getting into fights with the Foreign Drive families and other sets around, but the Foreign Drive Hustlers started to grow bigger, until they came into differences and started breaking into different cliques. After making these cliques, all hell broke loose. You could start to see the danger that was about to happen. The city of Los Santos seen 25 back-to-back shootings in just 4 months after Mello was killed. Mello was a respected member of the Shotta gang and was named as one of the shooters with G when Mista was killed. After these back-to-back shootings, the city went quiet for about a month and a half. That was until a shooting outside of a party happened, and the whole thing was caught on camera. Apparently 3 people was hit, including one innocent bystander. The shooters were rumored to be Aaron and Tariq from Glockboyz, including a third shooter named Papo from Marabunta Grande, that is an Hispanic gang which made a rivalry between Shotta gang and Marabunta, which detectives later found out Marabunta and Glockboyz were working together in the criminal underworld, helping each other with gun and drug smuggling. The FBI started to put up surveillance and get on the trail of the Glockboyz. But while their attention was towards the Glockboyz, the Shotta gang took their chance and started to make money flow. 2 members of the Shotta gang named CJ Don't Miss and 05 Kino dropped a song titled Everybody Get It. And in the song they directly dissed the Glockboyz, Marabunta and another gang called the Shotta Boys, even going as far as mocking the death of Mista. This song went viral and gained millions of views, but also raised the murder rate in the city. But while their rap careers were blowing up, they were involved in some demonic shit, like buying guns off of the dark web and conspiring on killing members of the Glockboyz and Shotta Boys. Police intercepted calls of Shotta gang members like CJ making other calls to talk about doing hits. They also intercepted money transfers that they claimed was paid to carry out murders of members of the Glockboyz. One hit that the FBI thinks has a Shotta gang member's face written all over it is the murder of a kid named DeMarcus Stewart, aka Lil Mark. He was killed hours later after dissing CJ Don't Miss on a song he made called You Get It, which was a response to CJ's song called Everybody Get It. They say a kid named Taekwon was the prime suspect in this murder, but had no evidence until a Shotta gang member named Trey was brought in for questioning about another crime, but was asked about the Lil Mark murdered, which he replied and told them about the incident, naming Taekwon as the shooter, saying that he got the help of a female named Nisha to set Lil Mark up to be killed. Also stating that CJ later paid Taekwon for the hit, but police didn't act on it right away. They wanted to get them all as one. The FBI were tired of the violence and decided to swoop in and arrest almost 60 members of each gang off the streets. But that couldn't stop the Shotta gang or the Glockboyz, because due to all the money they were making from music, they were able to bond a bunch of people out. But the two hasn't been going back to back lately. It's been kinda died down, but it's only gonna get better or worse from here. We'll have to stick around to see how it goes. Catch you on the next one.